Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, my name is Byaoko. Today I'm going to show you guys how to crochet this simple dress. It's very less time consuming, beginner friendly, and so versatile. You can put it on as just a simple plain dress, or you can ruffle it up on the sides. So I used 5 balls of yarns, but it's because I doubled my yarn strands. But if you use single strand, I believe 3 to 4 balls is going to be enough for you. And please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Let's get started. For the material, I'm using this yarn over here. It's 100% acrylic yarn called Robin, and I'm going to double my strands. And to do that, if you need to double your strands, you're going to pull the inside yarn and then use it along with the outer one like this. But if you have medium weight yarn, that can still do. And I'm going to use 4mm crochet hook. You need tape measure for sizing, you need tapestry needle to weave in your ends, and you need scissor to cut off your ends, and you also might need a stitch marker. So to begin, we're going to start making the bra cups. I have already made one side, and so I'm going to show you how to craft the bra cups. And you're going to start chaining a number of chains that covers your side boob going towards your nipple part. For this particular one is up to 4 inches. So start by making a slip knot. Always leave a long chain, and then make a number of stitches according to your size. In this case, I'm going to start with 18 foundation chain stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 18 chain stitches. So to begin on the next row, make a single crochet in the second chain from the hook, skip this, and then make a single crochet. So now go ahead and make single crochet in each and every stitch until you complete the row. I'm at the end of the row, 1 stitch left, and so in this final stitch you're going to make 3 single crochet. So 1, and after making the second single crochet, it's going to be your middle point. Grab your stitch marker and mark it, and then make the third, which is the final single crochet in that stitch. And now cross over onto this other side and make single crochet in each and every stitch until you complete the row. So at the end of the row, you should be having something like this. To begin on the next row, chain 1. The chain 1 counts as your first double crochet, single crochet, and then turn your work around. So into the next stitch, which is this stitch over here, make a single crochet, and now go ahead and make single crochet in each and every stitch. I'm going to meet you at this top part. So once you get at the middle point, remove your stitch marker, and in that stitch make 3 single crochet. So 1, 2, the second one is your middle point. Mark it with the stitch marker so that you don't lose the stitch. And then make the third single crochet in the same stitch. Now cross over onto this other side and make single crochet in each and every stitch until you complete the row. So So at the end of the row, do not forget the chain 1 is also a stitch, so make your last single crochet into that stitch. To begin on the next row, chain 1, the chain 1 counts as your first single crochet, and then into the next stitch make a single crochet. Now go ahead and make single crochet in each and every stitch. When you get to the middle point, remove your stitch marker, and in that middle stitch make 3 single crochets. So after making the second one, always mark your stitches and then make the final 3 single crochet. Now cross over onto this other side and make single crochet in each and every stitch until you complete the row. And so this is going to be your pattern until you get your desired bra cup. So make sure you make your both bra cups to be of the same size. So I'm going to go ahead and complete this until I get this size over here, and then I'm going to meet you at that point and we start shaping our dress. So once you have 2 equal bra cup that covers your bust well according to your size, then the next thing we're going to do is to join them together, and this is how you're going to place your bra cups facing each other like this. So for the next step, we're going to make 1 more row of single crochet up to this middle point. So just chain 1 and make 1 more row of single crochet. So I'm at the middle point and we're going to cross over onto this other side. Make sure you have the right sides, or rather both sides looking the same. Yeah, and then cross over onto this other side. There's no chaining, go directly into the middle space and make your single crochet. Now cross over onto this other side and make single crochet in each and every stitch until you complete this row. So at the end of the row, you should be having something like this top part joined. So the next part is binding these edges over here, and you're going to use single crochet to do that and chain 1. So as you can see over here, from this point to this point we have 2 rows of single crochet. Also this stitch over here, these are made up of 2 rows of single crochet. So you're going to make single crochet in these 2 rows, so like in this middle point here, here, so that you can reduce, it's going to tighten the edges of your top. So repeat this until the end of the row. So I'm at the end of the row and you should be having something like this on the edging. Now you're going to cross over onto this other side and make single crochet, and then when you get at the middle point, you're going to repeat whatever you did on this upper part and then make single crochet onto this other side as well, and then cross over onto this edging and make single crochet, and then I'm going to meet you at that point. So once you have joined the 2 cups together on both sides, the next thing we're going to do is to work on this other side, covering the underbust, and I have already made 1 sample over here, so I'm going to show you how to go about this onto this other side. Okay, and so to do that, you're going to start by chaining 3, 1, 2, 3. The first chain 2 counts as your first double crochet, and then the extra 1 stitch is a chain 1 space, and then make a double crochet into the next stitch. Now chain 1, skip one stitch, into the next one make one double crochet, chain one, skip a stitch, make double crochet, chain one, skip a stitch, make double crochet. So repeat this until the end of the row. So after chaining 3, to begin on the next row, make a double crochet where you have the double crochet, chain one, make a double crochet in the next stitch, chain one, repeat this until the end of the row. So once you have the 2 rows of these chain spaces, the next thing we're going to do is to start decreasing our work, slanting in this motion. Okay, this is the top part of my outfit and this is the bottom part. So this down part where you're working on it on straight line, while this upper part it's slanting. So to do that, chain 3, turn your work around, and then this down part we're not reducing, so you're just going to work in straight line. So at the end of the row we're going to make a decrease, so chain 1, and you're going to skip this double crochet over here, and into the last one make a double crochet. So you have made a reduction here. To begin on the next row we're not going to decrease, so you're just going to work in each and every stitch. Start by chaining 3, turn your work around, and then make double crochets with the chain 1 spaces until you complete the row. So remember, this is the down part and there's no reduction in the down part. To begin on the next row, chain 3, turn your work around, and then make double crochets. And now this row it's going to be a reduction row, and we're only going to reduce our stitch on this upper part over here. So this pattern, one row you're making a reduction, the next row you are not making a reduction. And at the end of the row where you are making a reduction, you're simply going to skip this after chaining 1, skip this double crochet over here, and into the last double crochet make your double crochet for a reduction like that. Now to begin on the next row, it's going to be a plain row without reduction. So now go ahead and repeat this pattern while reducing your work until you are left with something like this, and then you're going to make a long chain. So once you're done reducing your work, now just make a long chain that you're going to tie through your back around your underbust. So once you're done, you're going to cut off the yarn and tighten it off. So I'm done working on these 2 cups, and as you can see, the upper part is slanting because this is the area where you're supposed to reduce, while this down part is worked in straight line. And then also we have long chains to tie around the back. It's also the same thing onto this other side, and I hope you have same exact thing. So these 2 underbust area that we've just made, make sure it fits around your underbust, because if it's extremely long then it's not going to fit you quite well. So make sure this chain spaces that you've made, and also on this other side, when they meet at the middle point of your back, it's going to tie up well and it's not going to be in excess. Yeah, so the next thing we're going to do is to start shaping our dress going towards the down part. So to start working on the down part, you're going to attach your yarn on this part where you worked in a straight line. Remember, this slanting area is on the upper part. So grab your yarn and attach it onto this last point over here. And I love attaching my yarn using a single crochet. So this is how I normally go about it. And then make a single crochet in the same place and then pull this to tighten it. So now we're going to start by chaining 3. The chain 2 is a double crochet, the extra one is chain 1 space. Now go into the next chain space and make a double crochet, chain 1, into the next chain space, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1. When you get to this area where you have your single crochet, it's going to be the same thing. So make a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 stitch. Let me just zoom in. Skip the next stitch and then into the next one, make a double crochet, chain 1, skip the next stitch, into the other one, make a double crochet. So repeat this onto this other side, until you complete the row on this point. I'm going to meet you here. So I'm at the end of the row and you should be having something like this. So the next row is going to be a repeat of this row over here. Start by chaining 3, turn your work around, and then you're going to make double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, double crochet in the next stitch. Repeat until the end of the row. So I'm at the end of the row. So for the next row, after making these 2 rows, we're going to start increasing our work on the edges only. And to do that, chain 3, turn your work around, and then you're going to place your next double crochet onto this space over here, like that, to form an increase. Now chain 1 and go into the next double crochet over here and make your double crochet. Now go ahead and repeat the pattern, chain 1 space with a double crochet in the next stitch. I'm going to meet you at the end of the row. So at the end of the row, you're also going to make an increase into this last double crochet over here. So chain 1 and then make a double crochet. To make an increase, chain 1 and add additional double crochet in the same space to form an increase. So you have an increase at the end of the row and you also have an increase at the start of the row. So for the next number of rows, we're going to continue increasing on the edges only on both sides, and there's 2 ways you can go about it. So in the next row, you can either choose to work plain rows of this double crochet with the chain 1 spaces without making an increase, and then in the next row you're going to make an increase, in the next one do not make an increase, in the next one make an increase. Or alternatively, you can choose to make an increase in each and every row depending on how fast you want to go, because the essence of us increasing on both sides, it's because we want to hit our hip size. So once you achieve your hip size by increasing on both sides, I'm going to meet you at that point and then join the 2 sides together and proceed with the pattern. So I went ahead and increased on the edges, and I used the technique of increasing in one row, the next row I didn't increase my work. And then for the last 3 rows, I ended up increasing in each and every row. So the idea is to increase your work so that it can fit your hip size or your bust size, depending on how you normally put on your dress. As for me, I've decided to go with the fuller bust. So this area, the circumference of this part is my fuller bust, because I would prefer to put this dress on like inserting my head over here, and then it drapes on the hips part. So that means I'll have to start increasing on this down part so that it can accommodate my hip size, but up to this point it's my bust size. But if you have like your hip size up to this point, it's still okay, then you don't have to increase on the hips because you already have your hip size. I hope that's clear. So now let's proceed. So to join these two sides together, chain 1 and then make a slip stitch into the first. Actually I'm going to make it inside that space like that. And now I'm going to turn my work around and then chain 1, make a slip stitch into this chain 1 space so that you can get your yarn and hook inside the middle point. Now chain 3. No, at this point I'll chain 4 now. So the first chain 3 acts as a double crochet, and then the extra chain is a chain 1 space. Now go ahead and repeat the pattern, chaining 1 and making a double crochet. So repeat this until the end of the row. And then when you get at the end of the row, you're going to chain 1 and then make a slip stitch into the third chain. So 1, 2, 3 into the third one, make a slip stitch to join to complete the row. So after joining your work, the next thing we're going to do is to divide our work into 2. So mark the middle point of this other side and middle point of this back side. And so from this point up to this point should be the same number of stitches, and from this point all around up to the back one should be the same number of stitches. And then you're going to divide this half part into half again so that you can have your side, and then also divide all this into half, and you should be having another side onto this other side. So the next thing we're going to do is to start increasing on the sides only. We're going to increase as per your hip size. So to do that, chain 4 and turn your work around, and then make double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, and when you get at the side part where you marked, after chaining 1, make a double crochet in the same stitch, chain 1, and then make another double crochet in the same stitch for an increase, and then chain 1 and continue with your pattern. When you get at the side corner, you're going to make an increase as well by making 2 double crochet in the same space. And now go ahead and complete the row by making chain 1 and double crochets. At the end of the row, chain 1 and make a slip stitch into the third into the third chain, like that. So remember, we were only increasing on the side corners, on this side and on this side. Do not increase on this middle point or this other point. It's only at the corners. To begin on the next row, chain 4, turn your work around, make double crochet with chain 1 spaces, and then when you get on the side corner, as you can see, you have a V under this, on top of this double crochet. So you're going to make an increase in this double crochet over here, chain 1, and make another double crochet in the same space. Now chain 1, and into this other double crochet over here, you're going to make an increase. So make a double crochet, chain 1, and then double crochet in the same space. Now chain 1 and make double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, double crochet in the next stitch. So continue making chain 1 with the double crochet stitches. I'm going to meet you at this other corner. When you get on this other corner, make an increase after chaining 1, make an increase into this double crochet over here, chain 1, into this other double crochet, also make an increase, now chain 1 and make double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Repeat this until you complete the row. To complete the row, chain 1 and then make a slip stitch to join. So for the next row, you're going to chain 4 and turn your work around and make double crochet with chain 1 spaces. When you get at the corner, you're going to make an increase over there in that stitch, and then at the end of that stitch as well. Then make double crochet with the chain 1 spaces. When you get at the corner, make an increase there, and then make an increase at the end and complete the row. Go ahead and repeat that until you hit your hip size. So once you have your hip size, you're going to stop at that point, and you can use your tape measure and just stretch your work a little bit to check if you have your hip size. So if this measurement surpasses your hip size, it's still okay, because this pattern is body hugging, so it's not going to be loose on your body. Okay, I have 45 inches and my normal hips is 39, and so the 45 inches is still okay for my size. So the next thing we're going to do is to work without increasing on the sides, just making plain rows of double crochet with chain 1 spaces, and this is how the sideways looks like after increasing only on the edges, like that. To begin on the next row, chain 4. This is chain 4. Turn your work around and now make double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, double crochet in the next stitch. When you get at the corner where you are making an increase, you're going to make plain double crochet with the chain 1 spaces. There's no increase at this point. So now repeat this pattern until you complete the row. To complete the row, chain 1 and make a slip stitch to join. So for the next number of rows, you're going to repeat this previous row. You're not going to increase anything, so continue making that until you cover your hips well, or up to the height that you need. And then after that, I'm going to show you what to do next. And so far I have, like, from this underbust over here, I have like 8.5 inches so far. So now I'm going to go ahead and work on the hips area, working in straight line, no increase on the side, and then we're going to meet. So I now have the height of the dress that I need, and this is how it looks like. So the next thing we're going to do is to form the slit on the side, though this is optional. So mark your side, and then as you can see, I have cut off my yarn over here, so I'm going to attach the yarn on this side over here. To begin, I'm going to skip this. This is the middle point. I'm going to skip this, and into this over here, attach your yarn. So this is how I normally attach my yarn. This acts as the first chain 3 more, 1 2 3, so it's like you have 4 chain stitches. Now go ahead and make double crochet into the next stitch, continue with the pattern, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, so this is the end of the row. Skip these 2 spaces, 1 2. So now at this point you're going to chain 3 instead of 4 and turn your work around. So we're going to start decreasing, slanting in that motion. Skip this, next double crochet, and into the next one. Now make your double crochet like that, chain 1, double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, double crochet in the next stitch, repeat, and then I'm going to meet you at the end of the row. I'm at the end of the row, 2 stitches left, and to complete the row you're not going to chain 1 because we're going to skip this stitch. So just yarn over and make your final double crochet into this double crochet stitch for a reduction. To begin on the next row, chain 3, turn your work around, skip the next double crochet into the following one, make a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into the next stitch, chain 1, double crochet into the next stitch, repeat until the end of the row. To complete the row, do not chain 1, go directly into the upper stitch of the last double crochet to complete the row like that. So now go ahead and add a few more rows depending on the length of the slit that you need. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to show you what to do next. I now have my desired slit. It's approximately 3 inches. So the next thing we're going to do is to bind, and to do that, chain 1, turn your work around, and in the next chain 1 space make 5 double crochets, 1 2 3 4 5, single crochet inside the next chain space, skip the next chain space, and in the next one make 5 double crochets. 3, 4, 5, single crochet in the next chain 1 space, skip the next chain 1 space, and in the next one make 5 double crochet. So this is going to be your pattern until you complete the row. So go ahead and complete your row, repeating the same thing. At the end of the row, chain 1 and then cut off your yarn and tighten it off. Now let's fix the bra straps. I have already fixed this one side and it's just plainly chain stitches. So to do that, I'm going to attach my yarn inside the 7th stitch from this corner over here, and I'm going to attach it using a single crochet. So I'm pulling through, go into the next stitch, pull through and chain 1 and then tighten it off. So now make a number of chains that you're going to tie around your shoulder. You can chain in excess depending on the look you want to achieve. Once you have your desired chain, just cut off your yarn and tighten it off. And the next stitch, the next string, you're going to attach it on the back part, just immediately after this string over here. So in the next space over here, attach your yarn and make a long string as well. So make a long string, longer than this upper one that you've just created. Once done, cut off the yarn and tighten it off. So the next thing you're going to do is to weave in your ends properly well. So let me go ahead and weave in my ends and I'm going to meet you at that point. So the dress is finally done. At this point you can choose to leave the dress this way. So this is how it looks like, that's how the straps looks like, and that's how the back looks like. But you can also make extra 2 long chains and then we're going to fix them on the sides if you need like a different look. I have fixed the string on one side, so I'm going to show you how to go about it on the other side. So locate your middle point on the side and then insert your string. So you're going to skip like 1 stitch and in the next one pull the string, skip 1, pull the string all the way down, fix them in straight line until you reach the down part like that. And then now take the other string as well and repeat the same thing by skipping 1, and remember you're not fixing them in the same string, rather on just the next row. So fix it until it reaches down, then pull the 2 strings up and yay, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good time.